Good afternoon, we're in Puerto del Carmen, of course. It's a breezy and very hot afternoon. Thankfully it is breezy because it's 27 degrees even with this gusty wind. And we've come down to show you a bit of Puerto del Carmen, and more importantly to talk about Ironman and the preparations that are being made here currently for Ironman, which takes place day after tomorrow on Saturday. So we're going to walk up to the start-finish area.
Just got the barriers starting there, haven't we?
Yeah, they start Cafe Dos Mil.
Yeah, Dos Mil.
So the athletes will be nervously preparing. They'll be on what they call the taper now, won't they? Which is where they kind of ease off their training.
And hope they've done enough to get them through.
Exactly, yeah. So let's talk about Ironman, Jules. The three elements to it. The first is the swim. 3.8 kilometres.
Starts at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Out there in the ocean. So 3.8 kilometres, to put that into perspective, is
2.4 miles.
Yep, 40, 80, 120, 150 odd lengths of a 25 metre pool. And of course, unlike doing it in a pool, you're in the Atlantic Ocean, and although it always looks relatively calm from here, I can tell you from experience there's quite a swell once you get out there, particularly on the leg that's a little way offshore.
Yeah, and this year they've still got 2 laps, but they're actually going to enter the water and go round to the right towards the Farallones, and then go out and come back. So it's a bit like a hammerhead.
I know what you mean. And what's the swim start like then, Jules?
Well, in the good old days, it used to be everyone for themselves, all in together, but these days they do a rolling start.
So you have the pro women first, then the pro men.
Other way around, I think, men, then the women.
Ah, sorry, yeah, you're right.
And then the age groups put them into their own speed categories and they roll through from there.
Yeah, I think there's 10 minutes between the first and the last lot out, isn't there?
Yep, we've got 2 hours 20 to get it done.
So from the swim they come back in ashore here, get changed in the transition area which we're walking up towards now, and then they go out on the big one. Well, I think of it as the big one.
180 kilometres.
Yep, 180 kilometres on the bike.
0.2, isn't it? 180.2.
And the course has slightly changed since we did it. We used to go all the way down to the bottom of the island to Playa Blanca, all the way to the top of the island at Mirador del Rio, and then come back to the middle.
The difference is El Golfo's closed, isn't it, at the moment, the circuit around there, because of the hole in the road.
Yeah.
So they can't do that lap.
And it's the bit that, all of Ironman is challenging, but the bit that makes it particularly challenging is the fact that long section, and I'm going to point, can you point it out for us,
What,
Jules?
this long section
Yeah,
here?
well, from Taguise.
Yeah. So
Right,
this is uphill, isn't it, all the way, really?
Exactly.
Well, the switchbacks are down. And then this is a lovely downhill with the wind behind you. And then meanly, they've got to go uphill again. And then, so this road's used twice in it.
And that's really the, excuse my voice being a bit croaky, by the way, that's the really, really hard bit. It's because it's not only climbing from the bottom to the very top of the island, but it's also
Into wind.
Into wind all the way. And if it's as windy as this, it'll be a very, very tough one.
And typically it's, well, we hope it's a little bit cloudy in the morning for them.
Yeah.
And then, but when that cloud burns off, it gets really hot for the run.
Yep, so from there they come back into this transition area again, quickly throw on their bike shoes and then head out on the run, which goes from around here actually all the way down to Arrecife and back.
Yeah, so they've got 1 long loop and then 2 shorter loops.
And then almost inevitably it'll be really, really hot in the afternoon, so that's the hard part, if you like, of the run, is the temperature. Particularly in that section going past the airport, I remember that being really, really challenging.
It is, and there's not many spectators there, is there? So it's you've not got.
You're kind of on your own.
You're on your own a little bit, aren't you?
With the odd Ryanair taking off to your left or right. There's a big screen there, so I presume that's going to be showing TV coverage of the event.
Spectator stand for the finish.
Yeah. So this is a start-finish shoot here. I think we might get challenged in a minute for being here. We have got our credentials so with us, so And we can walk on the road actually, can't we?
Yeah, I think so.
There's no traffic along here. So this is the famous start-finish line. Cut-off is midnight, so anyone who hasn't got here by midnight, that's it. Basically, everyone closes up and goes home.
They can still finish across the line, but they won't get a medal and be acknowledged that they finished.
Yep. And there are cut-offs on both the swim and the bike as well. So if you don't do any of the sections in a sufficiently fast time, they literally pull you,
There's
either
a
pull you
van.
out of the
They
water.
call the sweeper, isn't it?
Yeah,
They
the sweeper van.
Sweep them up from the back.
So this section here, I'm trying to think where the bike racks are, Jules, because are they going to be further down?
They're going to be in these sections here, I think.
Okay, so this has all changed from previous years. That looks like where they come out of the water, where the red
Yeah,
carpet
got
is.
changing rooms. All the bags are going to be in there. They've got the hooks out.
All right. So all these barriers are up. If you're spectating on Saturday, you'll be able to stand behind the barriers and watch everything that's going on. So what time would you say is a really good time to come and watch the finish? I mean, I think the start is fantastic. So if you don't mind getting up really early, come down for the 7 a.m. swim
It's a
start.
really good atmosphere, isn't it, for the start? And then you can go for breakfast afterwards.
Yeah.
But then there's a big lull while they're all out on the bikes. The pros are doing it, 8 to 9 hours these days?
Yeah, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1,
About 3 o'clock.
2, yeah, 3 o'clock onwards. And there's a great atmosphere. There's always pumping music. There's a really good live commentary. And it's just a really exciting place to be, isn't it, as everyone comes running through.
Yeah, and everyone's cheering them on, no matter who you're supporting. And you see a lot of supporters in groups of clothes that all got matching T-shirts on
Yeah.
and supporting their club or their families.
You seem to have Lando Norris over there, look, with his McLaren shirt on. So this is the start of the bike racks now. And every athlete's issued with a number, so this one, for example, is going to be 11:55, and he'll hang his bike up there.
On Friday evening, isn't it? They hold
Friday
them.
evening, yeah. They call that the racking, and the bikes always look quite exotic. Well, they are exotic, but most of them made of carbon fibre. A lot of them have got electronic shifters now, and if you come and have a look at them, you'll see many of them have got the shoes on them, so they jump into their shoes.
Yeah, they're barefoot, aren't they? And they start off and put the shoes on as they're riding. And there's always a question of the dish, isn't there? Whether it's a deep dish or half dish on the wheel, but it depends on the wind for that one.
Yeah, and a lot of them do run full dishes on the back wheels, which is quite scary when it's windy, when it's gusty. And they have their sort of lotions and potions aboard, don't they? So it's all the drink and
Yeah, everything's taped on and in little goodie bags.
energy bags and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like there's some sort of grandstand down there, but that's us walked through now the transition area. Ironman has an army of volunteers, about 5,000 of them, and what we're going to be doing on Saturday for you, and you'll see this video next week, is try and catch up with some of the aid stations, explain how they work, hopefully meet some of the people that are working on them, to ask them what they do. The event couldn't take place without them. They do it for nothing, effectively. They get a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Which you see all over the island, don't you? Like wherever you go on the island, there's some dude painting in an Ironman 2014
We've probably
volunteer
got 10 years
shirt.
of Ironman t-shirts,
I
haven't
think we
when
have,
you think
yeah.
about it?
Unfortunately, I'm too fat at the moment to wear most of them, but I'll put that right. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that little tour through Puerto del Carmen and the Ironman transition area. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.
Bye.